The term staging is often thrown around very loosely when talking about listing your home for sale. I say loosely because it often has different meanings for different people. In fact, I have a video on this channel specifically called "What's the Point of Staging Your Home for Sale?" that explains what staging means and the different values associated to that. I'll put a link in the comment section below this video screen on YouTube for you to click on. That video explains the various meanings and value that professional stagers can provide. In today's video, I'm going to share 10 things every owner can do themselves to save time and money in preparation for listing so that your property shows in the best possible way. Number one is curb appeal. Yes, people judge a book by its cover. The same thing goes for real estate. It's true that if someone is prepared to pay 6 or 7 figures on a house, then they can probably cut the grass or the weeds. But grass that's unkept and weeds and shutters that are rotting or fading and bad curb appeal isn't about the cost for a buyer to make it look better after they own it. What it does is it sends a message to buyers that if this is how the sellers take care of the property on the outside, then they can only imagine, or shall I say fear, what problems might exist on the inside, or even behind the walls and in the attic, in places that you might have neglected but the human eye can't see. So curb appeal and judging a book by its cover is very important. Number two, depersonalize. Artwork and decor on walls and mantels can be great, and that's okay if you have your own preference and taste in artwork. But personal photos and personal awards and degrees or diplomas are a big no-no. Here's why. For many people, it can feel very awkward going through a stranger's house. You're in an unfamiliar home where you haven't been invited personally and you don't know the owners, and they aren't even there to make you feel welcome. In my video called Top 10 Mistakes When Selling Your Home, one of the 10 things that I talk about is that sellers shouldn't be there for showings. And I explain the reason is that they want, or as a seller, we want the buyers to feel comfortable looking around to see that the home feels like home and make it feel like home and picture themselves living there once they buy it. When buyers see personalized items of the sellers, they feel out of place. They feel awkward. They feel uncomfortable, so they rush through the showing and they leave your house or your condo far too quickly without giving your home proper consideration. So it's always a good idea to pack up or put away personal items like photos and awards and degrees and things like that. Number three, lighten and brighten spaces. Dreary dark rooms and spaces don't sell. Dark rooms not only create an uninspiring and dreary feeling and a mood for some people, but they also make rooms look and feel much smaller than they really are. The most important rooms to focus on brightening up are the kitchen and the living room, the family room, the master bedroom, in fact, all bedrooms. This can mean repainting with a brighter and more modern color. It can be as simple as opening window coverings that are usually kept closed when they're scheduled showings and leaving lights on when they're showings. And here's a tip that very few people think about. I've seen many homes over the years where owners tend to replace light bulbs willy-nilly. Now what I mean by that is once in a blue moon when a light bulb burns out, they go over to their local store and pick up a new bulb. The problem is light bulbs come in different watts and even different shades and tones. Just go to Home Depot or Canadian Tire or any large retailer and they'll have an entire aisle of light bulbs that has them separated, not just by the type and size of bulb, but also the shade and the tone. They have something called warm or bright or natural daylight. They're not funky colors, they're just different shades and tones. And they all display different brightness and different tones in the rooms of your home. So if this is the case in your home and you've been doing that over years, then if you're getting ready to list your house for sale, going to the store and investing in a bunch of light bulbs that are all the same watts and same color tones can make a big difference in how your home is portrayed to buyers. And if you're going to do that, then you might as well go for the brightest and the highest wattage. There's really no point in putting two 40-watt bulbs in a bedroom or a family room if the fixture will allow for 60-watt or even 100-watt bulbs. Number 4, repairs and maintenance. If you had a leak in the ceiling a few years ago and it's fixed, but the paint is discolored, or a light switch isn't working and you have to get it fixed, or a light bulb is burnt out, or a window sticks when you try to open it and close it and turn the crank, or a door doesn't quite lock or line up properly when you close it and open it, or we already talked about curb appeal, then you should get those things fixed before listing. Some buyers might fear that you let the house go in neglect, and they'll be faced with huge repair bills after they buy it. But for other buyers, the needed repairs might seem very minor and not a big cost issue, but it can distract them from the other features that get them excited about your house, what we call selling features that will entice them to want to live there. Number 5, remove odors. On more than one occasion, I've gone shopping with buyers, taking buyer clients to see homes and condos when we've entered a home and there was an obvious odor. Sometimes it can be the scent from their pets or from their cooking. It might not be a problem for some people, but you can't risk deterring away that one buyer who might pay top dollar. Sometimes people take it personally if it's suggested to them that there's an odor in their house, or let's call it a scent. It doesn't mean that it stinks, it just means it's something that buyers can't relate to. And often, because pets and cooking are a way of life for sellers, or smoking, or other scents that are a part of their life, sometimes sellers simply don't even notice it or realize it. It's just a part of life. As a seller, you have to remove emotion and not take it personally. And remember that you aren't trying to make friends or win fans. You're marketing a product to entice buyers to want it badly. Usually scents and odors are absorbed in the paint on the walls or the broadloom and the area rugs. So some fresh paint or steam cleaning carpets and area rugs can often make a huge difference. Which leads me to number 6, painting. Sometimes sellers think that if they put a hot tub or granite counters or other large improvements in the house, it will add value. Now, I always say it's important to remember that you don't know who's buying the home. Maybe they don't like hot tubs. In some areas that I've worked in that have a typical type of ethnic background for that area, I know that the people that will typically live there don't like pools, for example. Maybe they're going to redo their kitchen or their floors and they don't like the type of marble or granite that you're going to replace the counters with. So sometimes spending $10,000 to do something that's an improvement might not add $10,000 to the sale of the house. And for that matter, if you spend $10,000 to make $10,000, you're not benefiting at all. In fact, it's risky because there's no gain, there's no personal gain, but what if, as I said, whatever you spend, there isn't that perceived value to the buyers? So you should only invest money to update things that are sure to get you a return and a huge return on your investment. And the number one investment, bar none, anywhere in the world is painting. Now, if your home is only 1 or 2 years old and you have fresh, clean paint and the paint colors are bright earth tones and trending colors, then you might not have to paint. I'm not just saying go out and spend a ton of money on painting. What I am saying is if your walls haven't been painted in many, many years, or there are marks on the walls from when your kids were growing up, or your new sofa was delivered 3 years ago and they banged up the wall on delivery, then spending a few $1,000s on fresh paint not only removes odors that you might not notice and presents a fresh new scent, but it also looks clean, it looks bright, and with the right advice from your realtor or stager, it'll update your property to current color trends that buyers are looking for. And current trends are something else to consider, along with my previous point, which is brightening rooms. I've seen bedrooms or other rooms where maybe a teenager might have thought it was fun or exactly what they wanted at the time. But if it's a dark blue or a deep purple or a funky shade of green, it might have been personal for you. And or it might have been what your teenager really wanted to make their room feel like a safe, comfortable space for them. But it might not be what buyers like, and it might make the room feel darker and smaller and more dreary to a buyer. So spending a few $1,000s on painting is most often proven to provide the biggest return on investment. I've personally seen and sold homes where sellers have invested $2,000 to $4,000 for professional painters, which added anywhere from $10,000 to $40,000 or $45,000 to the ultimate price that we got for that house after we finished negotiating. Number 7, cleaning the obvious and the not so obvious. Some might think it's obvious, but I've seen homes where people didn't vacuum or didn't dust the shelves and the furniture. Again, when buyers see this, they might think you don't take care of the property. The other problem is it can distract them from getting excited about the selling features and the things about your property that would interest them. So while cleaning the hardwood floors or vacuuming the carpets or wiping the mirrors should seem obvious, here are also a few things that aren't obvious that I'm going to share with you. A, having the removable screens outside of each window that opens removed. For example, the bedroom, the kitchen, the living room, where you normally open the window and the screens prevent bugs from coming in. Cleaning the inside and outside of the windows and removing the screens makes for a much better view when people are looking out the windows. Most showings do occur during daylight so people can see the outside of the property. And when they're inside the home looking out the windows, and they always do, they want a clear view. And sometimes they're not going to say no to your house because there's a screen, but if the view isn't as bright and open and clear as it can be, it distracts them. So specifically, a clear view might be the norm, but when there's dirt or dust or grime or other things that are on the screen, the outside of the windows, people notice. And well, you know where I'm going with this. It makes them think that you don't take care of the home, and it distracts them. And B, this is a good one, dead bugs in the light fixtures. I know you're probably thinking, ew, right now. Hear me out. Often those dome lights or bedroom lights or front hall fixtures or main hall fixtures that you see in many homes are pretty standard. And in the summer when that nasty fly got in the house, you know the one you forgot about. Well, they're attracted to light. So when they go to the light bulb and it's burning hot, well, let's just say, go turn on those lights and look up. Now, I know what you're thinking, and you're right. Nobody's going to say no to buying a house because there's a dirty light fixture. But maybe you've heard me say this already once or twice in this video, or more. When it's not there, buyers aren't distracted from what they love about the house. They don't think that you neglected the property, and they aren't distracted from the features that they are likely going to fall in love with about your home. So sometimes not taking or distracting their attention can mean a huge difference in the sale price. Number 8, show a room with its proper function. Have you ever seen a spare bedroom that's used as a home office? Or a living room used as a toddler's playroom? Sellers often assume or hope that a buyer will know what the room is really meant for, or assume a buyer is smart enough to envision their own use for that room. Well, if that were true, retail stores wouldn't spend so much money on professionals to dress up mannequins or stage their front window displays to lure people in. Think about that. If clothing just hung on the hangers on the racks, some people might take the time to flip through the racks and picture what it looks like on them. But how many people are lured into stores, or should I say attracted into stores, on the street or in the mall because of how something looked on display? And what do people do? What do? You picture yourself in that jacket or in that dress or in those shoes. You think it's your look, your style. You envision how great you'll look wearing it. Guess what? Many people selling a home or seeing a home, it's just a high-priced business transaction that your realtor should be able to negotiate for you. But before any negotiating can even start, you need to receive offers. And in order to receive offers, one of the critical steps to selling your home is marketing your home. And marketing your home doesn't just mean some pictures on MLS or a postcard to your neighborhood or a sign hammered into your front lawn. Those are definitely some of the many important steps to get people in the door. But once they're there, sellers have to remove all emotion. But remember, buyers buy on emotion. So we have to market, or also known as appeal, to buyers' emotions, like it's a hot dress, or a great pair of shoes, or a stunning jacket, or a state-of-the-art TV that's on display in a store window. That's what we have to do with your house. And that's how we have to make the buyers think and feel and see. People have to envision themselves living in your home and loving it, and being the envy of all their friends, right? Come on, you know it. When you go looking at homes, you don't just envision you and your loved ones there. At some point you think about entertaining and inviting your family or your friends over to see your new home, or that New Year's dinner you're going to do this year, or that summer party. It all goes through your head. That's what we want buyers to envision when they come see your house. Number 9, removing counter clutter and knives. On most kitchen counters there can be spices or spice rack and a mix master and a knife block and a microwave if it's not built in, and a toaster and some decor items, and. Less is more. Removing all clutter except one or sometimes two main items will help. If it's a microwave, then there might not be many options to move that. If it's one of those high-end KitchenAid mixers, those are often considered a trendy item and often look good. But spice racks and kettles and old coffee makers and an air fryer or a deep fryer should go. And here's another tip a stager once told me that I never forgot. Even if you have a very expensive, top-of-the-line knife block with an elite set of knives, get it out of there. You don't have to throw it out, but get it off the counter. Although everybody uses knives to eat, they can be dangerous. They can be a weapon, not that I've ever seen them used for one in real estate, but the stager said it's proven that getting them out of sight will remove doubts, remove ideas that might arise for someone, and of course, it declutters. Number 10, remove plants or decor items that are on top of those tall kitchen cabinets. Some kitchens have plants or decor items up there, and either homeowners thought they were pretty, or they created a mood, or they just simply filled up empty space. When it comes to staging and marketing and presenting your home to buyers, what it does is, believe it or not, makes the ceiling look lower than it really is. There are many top 10 staging fixes that you can do yourself in preparation for listing your house for sale. And those are my top 10, so I hope they helped you. I hope they'll save you some money. And if you want to talk more about it, I'm always happy to do so. Remember, when it comes to real estate or any other experience in life, if there's a better way, wouldn't you at least want to know about it? If you're curious about the market or the value of your home, just click on the red subscribe button, because I'm always adding market updates and statistics and tips and strategies that'll help. And if you have questions about buying or selling, mortgages or investing, the real estate market in general, or staging, or selling a matrimonial home in divorce, or anything else real estate related, I love to talk real estate, so just send me an email, mike@TheREguy.ca. It's always confidential. There's never any obligation. I just love to talk real estate. And thanks for watching.